6:30 a.m. on a Saturday. Day's already getting started. I'm gonna cruise to the gym. I'm gonna get a workout myself, and then I got 2 personal training sessions, and then I got some general contract.
His caption says, I owe $7K in rent this month with no money coming in yet. So possibly a business owner.
Just coming by the gym today. We got to pull up some tile, and then I would like to start painting the bathrooms and the showers. I haven't been getting much sleep lately. I've been stressed the fuck out. I am on the hook for $7,000 a month just in rent, and there's no money coming in,
It's a
and the
lot of overhead.
timelines are all fucked up. And you know, people keep telling me that like the work that needs to get done will get done quickly, but they're not the ones who are on the hook for $7,000 a month. So I guess the most important thing is the things that keep you sane, the things that keep you grounded, the things that bring you peace and ultimately make you who you are have to continue to happen in these situations, because this past week I really didn't work out all that much, and I felt it. The pressure started mounting, and the pressure keeps getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. So I got to get back into doing what makes me me, and I gotta just get back into my flow of things. It's gonna work out. It'll be all right. Money will come and go. It's fine. But yeah,
Nope.
that's just my weekly rant, my update for you.
No, sir. You might actually be fucked. Excuse me, screwed. This dude has $7K a month in overhead. Just the rent. It's not including other things that he's possibly paying for that go towards his business. He's talking about he's putting tile in, all type of stuff. This dude is just leaking money. More than leaking. It's much more than a leak at this point. He's spilling money. And if you take a look at him, let's take a look at him again. Look, he's got the image, right? Like, this is what you would think, like CEO image. He looks like he's just oozing prosperity, don't he? He got his sunroof. But a lot of us are under the misconception that we just get into business and that just equals automatic prosperity, automatic abundance. And it doesn't. You can make a bad business decision that can screw up your entire life. And it looks like that's what he did. From my understanding, the last time I checked, commercial property has never been cheaper, especially with remote work and all this type of stuff on the rise. Commercial property took a hit, and it had gotten more affordable than ever. Maybe it's gone up since, but I ultimately just say this to say, dude, you couldn't find a deal on some commercial property. See, I think that he probably got prime location space, thinking that just by him going off a prime location where it's already a place where people are, doing well for themselves, that would just automatically equal success. And I'm making assumptions because he didn't really give us any context. I mean, you're going to tell us about your rent, and that wasn't much of a rent, in my opinion. But ultimately, what I'm saying is, you're leaking 7 to 10K a month from your job, from your business you're trying to start, and it can only go downhill from there. So instead of bringing in money, he's draining almost 10K every month. You probably would have just been better off keeping your job. Probably because you're about to blow through your money and possibly your retirement. And you're probably stuck in it. You probably signed a contract. So wish him the best. I wish he'd have gave more information so we could go deeper. But before we get into the next clip, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also if you could hype.
Woman who went viral for showing off her awesome Chicago apartment. And now she's being kicked out because her landlord wants to raise the rent.
How much do you pay for rent in Chicago?
$1,750.
Can I have a tour of your apartment?
Absolutely, let's go. So this is our entryway. Got to check yourself out in the mirror before you leave. I'm all about women having positive energy, so I like seeing that every morning. This long hallway, I had to put something special here, so I decided to put Chicago. I was homeless for 8 years. I used to panhandle by this bridge, and I used to eat out of garbage cans over here. And now I'm no longer homeless, and I actually live in this community where I was homeless at.
Faith Jones moved into her South Loop apartment in 2023 after 8 years of being homeless in Chicago. After her stunning apartment tour was featured on Dean's Chicago real estate TikTok page, it went viral with more than 2 million views. Her landlords at Vesta Lofts Apartments in the South Loop saw the viral video, and at first they congratulated her on bringing them so much exposure. But then other residents who saw the video were complaining that her rental price was lower than theirs, and they were mad about it. Faith decided to renew her lease in June of 2025, and just a few weeks later, after she paid her July 2025 rent, she received a notice that her lease had been canceled and she had 10 days to vacate the premises. She immediately contacted the management at Vesta Lofts and told them that that wasn't fair. A month later, in August, they filed to evict her from the property in the court. Faith didn't understand why they were trying to evict her when she was paid in full to this property, and the only thing she could think of was that they are probably trying to raise the rent far beyond what she can afford, all because she brought so much attention to the building because of her viral video. Feeling distraught, Faith contacted legal aid and told them that she believes that they canceled her lease due to retaliation for the viral video, and they were able to help them stall the eviction for now until she can speak with the judge. Until her court date, Faith is on a month-to-month lease with Vesta Lofts, paying $200 more than she was paying in her lease. Faith is worried because with an eviction on her record, she can't secure a new apartment, not in Chicago. Faith doesn't understand how showing off her apartment led to her being kicked out. And she was homeless for 8 years, and she doesn't want to hit the streets again. If you want to follow along and see what happens to Faith, find her on TikTok.
Listen, man, I'm so glad that I know how to think for myself and that I know how to get information, and maybe even things that aren't necessarily being said, I can still perceive and I can still see the writing on the wall and filter it through my own discernment. Because I say all that to say, first of all, doesn't this story seem like it's kind of one-sided? Like, it seems a little biased. I'm just being real. The way it's coming across, it seems like this person who's reporting on it only got the person in question, Faith's story, and it's like she's telling it the way it was told to her, which is only from her side. But we review eviction stuff all the time, and we see the person getting evicted definitely not tell the whole story, because and funny enough, even the stuff that she's telling that it seems like it's factual, that's normal process. Listen, especially today, the way rent prices are just going up, going up, going up, I've never seen a place, not when it's time to cancel the lease, not try to raise the rent. That's very common. So her thinking that's retaliation, no, that's common. And it sounds like she was already paying less than the other people around her. And then she decided to go on a show and disclose that. And now everyone else found out about that. So now they're pissed. And then they went to the leasing office basically saying, well, if they're paying lower rent, I want to pay lower rent. It seems like she's like dead in the city of Chicago, in the city area. Because I was thinking that when she said $1,700 rent for like downtown Chicago, I was like, how the heck? And it was a pretty nice and spacious apartment. I'm like, how'd she do that? Listen, it was coming when it was time to renew her lease. It was definitely coming where they were going to raise that rent in downtown Chicago. And then now she's paying month to month. And she's like, they retaliated and made me pay an extra month to month. That's how that works. When you move on to a month to month, they always raise the rent if it's going to be month to month and you don't commit to a contract. But honestly, I think they just raised that while the court proceedings are going on to get her out of there, because it sounds like she didn't want to resign, but she also doesn't want to leave, because most likely what they tried to get her to resign to was going to be a boost in rent, which a lot of places best practice they're doing. And I don't know if I necessarily like that. That sucks. But they're doing it. It's happening and it happens all over the place. And I'm sure that her going on and disclosing what it was that she was paying didn't help. That was her prerogative. She could do that. But you got to understand that the leasing office, when your contract is up, whatever their prerogative is as far as raising the rent or whatever, they can do that as well. So it doesn't sound like anyone really is at fault here, but it seems like trying to do a narrative. And if somebody is listening to the story who doesn't really have any life experience or know how things work, then it's easy to just take this and just say that the leasing offices are these horrible, cruel people and it's terrible landlords and they're coming at her because she's a black woman. But all these things seem kind of standard best practices from my experience of what just normally happens. And again, I think she was already definitely coming up with how much her rent was originally, and it was only a matter of time. And if it wasn't only a matter of time, it didn't help that she went and disclosed what she's paying so that the other people living in the building could then basically make a big deal about it. It sounds like this was of her doing, if you really think about it.
I have bad economic news for you, and then I have worse economics for you. I did a post last month reporting January 2026 home foreclosure numbers, and the articles labeled them as a quote foreclosure bloodbath end quote, and said that home foreclosures in the United States were going to get worse. Well, today is March 14th, 2026, and I have February home foreclosure numbers. Hi, my name's Christina. I have a master's degree in business. And
That's cool.
if you find this post sad but informative, please like, comment, follow, and share. It is extremely important that you know what is going on in the U.S. economy because it does affect
She been saying a whole lot of stuff and still ain't said nothing.
you personally. In January, it was over 42,000 homes that were foreclosed on, which
Okay.
is the highest it had been in years. February 2026, 40,534 properties were foreclosed on in the United States in 2026. The top two states are Nevada and Delaware. Florida is also in a top
Mm.
foreclosure area. That is over 92,000 homes closed.
Why do you all think that the foreclosures are happening so rampant? On one end, I mean, I guess we could say the layoffs and all that good stuff, right? But we also have to think about, like, post COVID, how home prices raised so astronomically. Because, man, before COVID, I remember I was looking at homes because there was somebody who was really like telling me to buy a home, and I actually wish that I would have at that point. But homes jumped almost like over 100%. It was crazy. And what we forget to realize, like, if you own a home, that's great. You have all this equity now. That's fantastic. Until you think about property taxes and how that's also going to affect you year after year. Because property taxes usually are based off the home appraisal value. So your home is worth more now by such a large margin. And so now these are thousands more that you have to pay every year in property taxes. So I think that could definitely be affecting the foreclosures as well, because a lot of people don't save. And so you see that money that you got to fork out in property taxes, and if you don't pay those, then you can get foreclosed. But I'm curious if she's gonna elaborate on what could be contributing to this. That's just my thoughts.
Closed just in 2 months in 2026. If you think, that doesn't sound so bad, or Biden did it. No, foreclosures are people who couldn't pay 120 days. that means it's a Trump issue. It also means it's because people have lost their jobs, they're underemployed, or they're 1 in 4 people that have been unemployed for 27 weeks or longer. Expect every single month to have high home foreclosure rates. This is a direct sign of an economy collapsing. These were before the US versus Iran war. Again, please like, comment, follow, and share.
Remember, I should be back on track because, like I said, I get paid on the 5th. So with that check, that'll be a full 2-week check. So that'll be
Oh, let's start that over. Oh, this is funny. You look at his face. You could tell they be lying all the time. Yeah. Oh, you all probably didn't even see the caption. The caption says, "Listening to my non-payment paying tenant lie again." Let's start that from the top.
on the 5th. So with that check, that'll be a full 2-week check. So that'll be enough to cover those expenses.
Yeah, I just want you to have a plan B because I don't want to wait until Tuesday morning and then you tell me you're going to change his mind because then we right back at square one.
Right. I understand. So I just wanted to, you know what I mean? Like I said, I did want to update you because we get paid on Fridays, but usually I have time. So, and last week I got a little $8 check for my orientation that it hit on Wednesday. The shortstop, they get paid on Wednesdays. So I know for a fact that I'll get paid on Wednesdays from them.
Okay. So just to summarize what we talked about. So today you're about to send me the late fee for last month. On Tuesday, you're going to send me your portion of the rent and the late fee for this month. And then on the 5th, when you get your first check, you plan to pay your full portion of the rent. It's not going to be late as long as you give it to me on the 5th, and you're going to give me at least half of the water repair.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I want you to text me all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, just go ahead and send the late fee and send me the text message, and I guess we'll be good from here. Just if something changes, please let me know as soon as possible because I do not like having to follow up and see on the day you're supposed to pay me, and I got to text a couple of days later to see what happened. So I prefer you just reach out to me first if you know something is not going to go the way we said.
Okay. Yes, sir. I definitely will. Like I said, if you know what I mean, hopefully that nothing changes because, like I said, I want to get back on track because we were doing good for a little while. And like I said, it just kind of threw me in a hole. But so I want to get back on track and everything. But if anything was to change or whatever, then I'll definitely give you a call, let you know as soon as I know.
Did y'all know you can?
That gives a lot of insight. So I guess what we just found out. I like how he does his business. I like how he's able to cut through the BS and make sure that everything is. This was said. This was stated. This was stated. Text it to me too. What it appears is that gay dudes might be invulnerable to manipulation tactics from women because she already knew to come correct with him. Whereas if it was a straight guy, like sometimes you'll be trying to hold a chick accountable and they'll be playing in your face and acting like they don't understand and going all around and just playing. So she didn't even try that with him. I think that's incredible. And then everything he required, it was like a yes, sir. And this is a landlord-tenant relationship. You might, listen, man, feel how you feel, but you might have to get a gay dude to manage your property for you. Because that was, I'm not used to seeing that type of capitulation and cooperation. When you're trying to be about your business and hold somebody accountable. That was impressive. Y'all, we're going to leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes smaller content creators to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller content creator, we actually get more points per hype. And then also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.